Okay, so part two, why they're delusional and why they think they have, which actually segues into why, nice sun, why they, see them little flies? They're interesting, those ones that hover there and they're like so fast you don't even see their wings. Does anyone know what they are? They've got like real big eye, big head flies. Anyway, you can see me there. Okay, so so I'm just going to ground while we're doing this. Oh, my sock has a hole. Anyway, so the reason that they're delusional, the reason that they have this presumption that they're innocent and we're not, is their delusion. That's what I'm saying. So they always think, oh, hold on, it's hot. Much better, much more natural. Are clothes evil? I might be one to say so. Am I a nudist? I don't know. Depends who you are. Right. Sometimes. But, what I wanted to say was, their delusion and their presumption that they're innocent stems from their delusional nature. To be soulless means to not, that's why they're messed up, to not have the information, the light, the philosopher's stone, which is what we're doing here, the reformation. After the Great Fall, we're now in the reformation of light, yeah? See the front page quote on consciousazine.net. I've got that written on the front page. The mindscape is confused because not all the pieces are where they should be. We're collecting them. This is known as the process of collecting the philosopher's stone. The weirdest books, the strangest places, the highest mountain, or whatever that quote is, that's where you shall find the stone. That 15th century philosopher who was an alchemist who made that, I'm putting that quote in the Organic Portals handbook, so it'll be in there properly. But yeah, so when you're soulless, right, this world is matter. Matter is not soul. Soul is like higher. That's why you can't see it, yeah? So you're looking here at the physical forefront. I call this the second dimension. And this is the variety and domain of, the domain of variety, right? it's the building blocks, this is the Minecraft world we're in. It's like Minecraft, right? Very block world, little block atoms and so on, even though they're not really that solid. Let's not get into that for today, because I'm going to derail what I was thinking. So this place is, I've already made a video called Organic Portals Dead Matter. That point is trying to tell you that spirit is not in matter. Yes, we are here in matter, and spirit is in matter, but it's not, matter is not spirit, yeah? It's Mother Creation here, physical, and Father Spirit, the higher realms, right? And what's interesting is that, you have spirits from all sorts of realms and universes here, again beyond the scope of this conversation. But their delusion comes from being the surface. They are the surface virus. Now I'm starting to sweat. So they are the surface virus, and the soul is what gathers information and puts it in context, higher context, because you're reading it with your spirit. It's not the ego is reading the soul. Yes, it partially does, but it's not an understanding part that's reading it, right? It gets read, it gets written into the ego. But your spirit is doing the writing if you're a spirit human. That's why we We're said not to be scripted. They're scripted. Spiritless humans are scripted. They're running off the script of this place, of the shallow ego Ethereum platform. This thing I keep bringing up. And the 7 mental or mind devils. Asmodeus, Satan, Lucifer, etc. Mammon is greed, sloth is Belphegor. So anytime you lust anything, you are Asmodeus. Your lust is the beast's lust, which is Asmodeus. He is the conglomerate epitome beast here. It's not Satan then Asmodeus, wrath then lust. No, it's lust to wrath, lust to be prideful, Luciferian. See, we can't avoid being any of these completely forever because we're in this body, but the more you realize it, right, the more we come to consciousness about it, the more we can stay alert when we're becoming it and stop giving energy to it. And as you form habits, as you do things, you form habits, and they become how you walk, right? And their delusions come from being the shallow, disorganized world. This world, all this information that we see in this world, do you realize how when you wake up in the day you don't have all the information? That's why there is progression. Because this place is like a mechanical eddy stealing from the higher spirit realms into this place, which is a closed system or human prison bar system or a prison planet. Planet is an astral overlay. It's a holographic astral overlay to say this place is flat earth, right? This is an idea of an astral overlay. Just like now almost everybody is gone. If I speak like this, it's incredibly refreshing for people. I know that refreshment because I seek it as well. It's because the script, when we run it, it's repetitive, and repetition is the meaning of insanity, right? So no wonder they act how they do, all grotesque and angry all the time. They're always naturally uncomfortable because they're running the same script. It's not refreshing. When you wake up in the morning and you're refreshed, it's a different feeling than if you're running the same thoughts or the same script. That's what they are. They're only the scripts. You see what I'm saying? That there is no refreshment. They get all their refreshment from us. That's why they're so happy when you're down. That means you've been extracted. Have you noticed these psychopaths? They're unhappy when you're happy. Because they know that that's not post-extraction. Oh, we've got to do some extracting of his energy. We've got to get his loosh. Anyway, so they're back to the main part of what I was trying to say. Their delusion comes from, it is the ego's delusion. They are the ego Ethereum platform and the 7 devils. That's what the ego is. The ego is the 7 devils. It's not, you have little Mr. Ego Devil here and then seven devils, Asmodeus, Lucifer and Satan, and they're separate. That's again the ego, how it tries to separate everything. Because the 3rd dimension is separate stuff. Nothing in here is touching. That did not touch. That literally did not touch. Remember, this was in the 2006 Down the Rabbit Hole, What the Bleep Do We Know scientific documentary. They know this. Electrons don't touch. It might look like it from the macro physical view. You're looking at me, oh, you did just touch your face, Ben. No, nothing here is touching. I'm not touching the ground even. There is like a space. Check it out. And what's interesting about this is that, this shows that the 3rd dimension is zonal reality, like I keep saying. And the ego is proven to be a 3rd dimensional object or thing because how it acts. It always tries to separate everything. That's 3rd dimensional reality. It's separated. 5th dimensional reality is about unity. So the 5th dimension is unified. That's why I always call it the unified field, right? As scientists will know it, the plasmonic unified field. That's one way to describe the 5th dimension. And you can take these natures or ways or how it is, its nature, and put it onto things like I just did with the ego. clearly third dimensional. It's not a fifth dimensional thing. And it's continually trying to separate, and you might say that's part of discernment, the separation and differentiation. Yeah, we're not going into any positive aspects of it today. I'm trying to talk about the negative stuff. And so that's where their delusion stems from, the unknowing, not knowing. Oh, well, you're going to need to prove it. Oh, you need to back up your claims. Now, at the start of my channel, I was doing that a lot because I just came out of university and they're brainwashing. And this place, this third dimensional way, right? If it's not physically there, I don't know, that's how they are. We are like, we're different. We seem to get the feeling and know and understand, and sometimes get flashes of vision and so on, and telepathic, telekinetic and telepathic communications. They're not getting that consciously, right? They're still in a human body, but it's like they're cut off at the edge of the fifth dimension. There is no higher dimensionality. All the higher dimensions from the fifth dimension are intangible. And that's what there's no they have no consciousness higher dimensionally. That's what we say. Right? They're shallow, they're only of the surface. That's why they're a surface virus. That's why, I call it a surface virus, because it's a virus because it infects you, that you don't care. Don't care. That's the virus. It's lacking consciousness. It's not more consciousness, you see. So, I mean, the more and more we rigor, that's why we look up to these masters who are very rigorous, like a martial artist might be Bruce Lee, because he was so rigorous. Right? And that's looked up to because the ego is a little devil that doesn't know. So I'm saying that it all stems from that. They are their ego, and they're the ones that will tell you they do not have an ego, because they think our super ego or higher self, id, is the ego. Meanwhile, we're looking down at them like going, oh my God, so what are you then? Oh, you're just nothing. See, that's illogical. Is what we say continually. These organic portal people, they're illogical like that. And that's the ego. It doesn't understand. It doesn't know, it doesn't understand, it doesn't logic properly. And that's because it's really these entities, these devil entities, this Asmodeus and Satan and all that. The system lords, basically. So their delusion comes from the disorganized here. This place does not have infinite knowledge and so on. It's like an eddy that takes stuff. That's why we're a reiteration of that. They take our ideas and then they don't even give you credit for it. They just steal them, and that's it. They don't pay me or anything. They always just steal my ideas. They've done that a lot at this camping ground as well. They started implementing food plants, but if they actually worked with me here, I could have made it much better, and I could have taught them what they're doing. They put like 3 plants in. But I know it was because of me, because I'm the food plant teacher who's been here 2 years. You know what I mean? So that's how you know that, for instance, these people are HPBs, because they do what the HPBs do, and only that. And they don't realize it. They don't realize what they're doing. It will take an incredible amount of programming, and I just don't think we have, the ability to wake them up. Technically, there's an awakening process, which I mentioned in Can Organic Portals Be Woke Too, but I don't think we can do anything about it. We don't have the time, and I'm not sure we can actually brute force it. Like, they don't take us seriously, right? Because we don't conform to their rules. So there's already a part of them that is laughing at you and is not going to listen to anything you say. It's just in one ear and out the other. The programming that we're mass mind reprogramming, but unless they only take in the sly stuff and what they'll steal and assimilate. If you try to brute force awaken an organic portal, never works, because that's what the ego is. The ego, in all its non-understanding, thinks that somehow it understands. That's called delusion. That's like the best example of delusion. It acts like it's understanding. Oh, hold on, I don't really understand. That's 100% delusion, 100% flip. And untruth, not truth. That's why these organic portals hate the truth as well. The ego, it can't, these devils, they can't accept certain things, but that's another video. So I just wanted to say, their delusion stems from them being a surface virus, from being not having the flow, and they don't have the Tao within. They're not God people at all. They're devils of this place. This place is not good. It's fallen. It's matter matrix. That's what this place is. It's fallen and falling. It's still in the process of falling. That's why it rips apart, called the Big Rip. Actually, what we're doing is unifying all the information and so on, and it's called the reformation of light. You know about the great falling away? Well, we're reforming the light realms. You understand? It's through us that's happening. We're temporally longer. The ego is a dot. Id is a hyperspatial line. I've got that on the front of consciousazine as well. So anyway, with a little perspective, it's easy to be delusional, this ego, the ego dot. It's easy to not understand, but then it asserts itself. It's 100%, it asserts itself. So yeah, I'm good, I know, everything's okay. Is it? Like, where is the backing for that? They always talk about, scientific evidence and backing. Well, how do we know that everything's okay? I mean, tomorrow an asteroid can wipe out us like the dinosaurs. You know what I mean? So it's completely delusional. Anyway, my point is, and what I want to put it down to, is that when you're a soulless human, you don't have the same informational regulation, databasing, and organization. That's why you're a mess. That's why we see them as, oh, they're messed up. Yes, their information is all scattered around. Their brain schemata. See how I can connect 500 organic portal videos? I can remember my videos from 2 years ago. Can you guys? Maybe you don't because you're not doing it every day. That doesn't mean you're an organic portal, but the point is that, they could never do that. They can never do 500 videos and connect them all like this, and I'm still got to go another 500 more for sure. We're starting now to get what I call the midway. We're starting to talk about these entities and stuff. Then we have to ask, eventually on this channel we're going to go into each entity and what's the go, where's it come from, or etc. Whence, why, the 5 W's. All they ever do is what, and where, not how and why. You know what I mean? Have you seen that too? That's the difference between us. It's like they don't care. Yeah, on everyday worldly stuff, but I mean anything spiritual, right? They don't have that higher gnosis seeking where they wonder how and why. They just don't give a shit. And partially because the ego is deluded in thinking that it is something that the ego thinks it is something, but it doesn't exist. It is those 7 ego devils. But it sees itself as its own entity. And it absolutely has no existence whatsoever. That is 100% delusion. 100%. That's what I'm saying. Some of these people will even tell you, they'll reiterate this and prove it for me. They'll say, I do not have an ego, Ben. I always step back and I go, whoa, I found another one. Because anybody who says they don't have an ego is the ego. And it's a non-existent thing. So in other words, what they really are is those 7 devils. They are Asmodeus, they are Satan. That's why they appear so devil-annoyed to us. Anyway, so I hope I've just put the pieces completely together, because that's completely together. So rewind and put this all together for yourself if you didn't understand. So basically their delusion stems from misinformational organization. And spiritual, yeah, not the table of elements. Good on you. You know the anthonites and all that. And God, you know the atomic number of fucking uranium. Good on you. That's not the type of organization I'm talking about. I'm talking about soul information, picking up these pieces of light. You know, when you get it and you pick it up, what I'm putting down, that sort of stuff's what I'm talking about. That's what they have all messed up. That's what they don't seek. They're not called soul seekers.